This video brought to you by Prehistoric Scenes at prehistoricscenes.net. For a while I've been trying my hand at using a wet palette. And for those who aren't familiar with wet palettes, it's basically usually plastic, and you have a tray, and then you have some sort of absorbent material like a sponge or paper towels or what have you. Then you have a paper. I use parchment paper, but it's a paper that the moisture, because you put water in it, the moisture can come up through the paper, and it'll help keep your paints moist, and you can put the lid on it and come back later. I have been using a plastic food container for the last few times, which has worked. It works. I mean, that's a poor man's way to do it, but I wanted to try something maybe a little more purpose built. So I got this, and this looks like DSPIAE online. By the way, I found this. I first saw it on, I want to say, Facebook, and it was like $30-something. And I got this one. I did a little searching around, and I'll see if I can find the link and put it down in the description. But I found this one significantly cheaper. I want to say $10 to $15 cheaper. So what we're going to do, I'm going to unbox this, and I've got another project. I'm finally getting back to building and painting, since this will be the first kit that it's this one here. This guy, this Triceratops. I have not been able to do anything since I moved in, and I'm finally getting back to it. So we're going to use this and see how that does for painting my new Triceratops. Let's get into it. All right, so here it is. Let's just get into it and see what we got here. Come on. All right. So there we go. All right, so just full disclosure, my favorite color is red, so this is red. I wanted a red wet palette. So, of course, here's our lid. Comes with some paper. This is the sponge I was talking about. I think this is also the paper that you would use. And it has this little removable tray that you can put paints in. I'm not sure how well this is going to work, because kind of the point is to keep the paints moist, and if it's in these little palette things, not sure how well that's going to do for that, but we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. All right, now that I've had a chance to use this wet palette, I can give you my results here. And again, this is the DSPIAE Moisturizing Color Mixing Box for Acrylic Paints. DSPIAE. I think that's what it says. DSPIAE. DSPIAE. Anyway, so first of all, it's smaller than what'll probably work for me. in that's just the way I work. That's not necessarily a criticism. For other people, this might be the perfect size. For me, I like to have a little more space to spread out to work with. Let me open this up. The sponge, and I've still got stuff in there. The sponge that comes with it is pretty thick. And this area here that uses, where did they go? There we go. These little guys here. The problem is that the paints in here will dry out. So this really isn't particularly useful. I used it kind of as an area to keep some moisture. The papers that come with it, there were two kinds. One that had a waxy background to it that nothing was going to soak through, and you kind of need the sponge to be able to or the paper to be able to soak up from the sponge. Otherwise, it kind of defeats the purpose of being a wet palette. And then there were some other papers that were really super thin that soaked up too much too quickly and just got all watery. So, not impressed with those. So, honestly, it's not bad. And if you see this advertised on Facebook, don't get it from there. Go search for it on like Amazon or Google, and you'll probably find it for about half the price. I'm seeing a lot of products like that. So what am I going to do instead? This is just a plain old plastic container from HEB. It's a bit, obviously it's a bit larger. And previously I was using something very similar. And I think I'm going to go back to this because it'll give me much more surface area to work on. And it'll still seal up. So, all right. So as far as the display, I would use just parchment paper on this rather than the papers they give you. The sponge is okay. Again, I think it's too thick and holds up too much. It's like somebody had a concept of what it should be without really testing it out. So I think that sponge that it comes with is just too thick and actually may hold too much water. But that's me, and I'm not super experienced with wet palettes, so maybe over time my mind will change. Again, not bad, but not for me. Thanks for joining me.